Morning everyone, morning or maybe afternoon. I'm not too sure I'm going to share this one yet actually, but how are we all doing? I hope you're all well. So I've popped today along to the, well, back in the Ashdown Forest after a first time for a few weeks. I come here specifically because we've had a hell of a lot of rain recently, as I'm sure you're all well aware if you're in the southeast of the UK. And there's if you know the area or not, there's a place called the Airman's Grave, and near that is what I understand is the biggest, to my knowledge anyway, of all the ones, the few that I know of that I visited, is the biggest waterfall that exists on the forest. And I was just intrigued. I wanted to come down and have a look and see how it's running and see what it's like after we've had like a month of non-stop rain, something like that. We had a bit of frost and snow over the Christmas break, and then it's done nothing but rain ever since. So my assumption is, and I think I'm right, judging by how wet the ground has been as I walked in, is that it's going to be roaring there today, a roaring waterfall. So I want to go down and have a look, and I'm interested to see. I've taken some pictures down there in the past, a few times I've visited there, but I've never, it's a location, and I'll try and depict that on the video as best as I can. It's a location that suits sort of square crops or portrait crops more than it does like a landscape or a cinematic framing, a landscape shot, purely because it's such a condensed area. And as I say, I'll try and depict that, show that to you with the video. So I'm intrigued to see if I can capture something cinematic down there or not. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I will, but I've just fancied the challenge. You know what, I was just looking at this spot here actually. I always try and get free photos with my videos. If you've watched along for a while, you'll know that. And I was just intrigued here to see if I could capture a picture. So I will try and get one before I go down there to see what's what. But yeah, that's it today. Really, I haven't got a theme as such. I just more a location. Like, it's a beautiful spot here. It's very wintry here at the moment, as I'm sure you can see with the trees with no life on. And it's incredibly wet as well. I wish I'd wore a pair of wellies because my boots and my jeans are absolutely sodden now. But yeah, so I'm going to wander down. I'll see if I can find a photo, and I'll get you guys back up with me in a sec when I do. Yeah, so I shall catch you in a little bit. So I found a photo here. As always, I'm now not too sure on it now. Now I look at it. I was working around then. I'll show you a bit of B-roll. Me walking around with a camera, trying to find something to picture. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to get this to record quick mode. Yeah, I was working around with the 17 to 40 on initially. So I was looking at these, there's a bit of a bank of heather going along here. I think that's heather, the yellow ones. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, there's a bank of that going along, and then there was a lot of angular lines, so the hills in the distance were coming back the other way. The bank of the yellow at the front was going down that on that diagonal like that. It looked quite alluring, but because there's not much colour elsewhere, so in the birches that are out there, in the sky, it's grey and bland. I wasn't really finding. I should have just taken the picture, I guess, but I wasn't particularly happy with it. I was like, yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. So what I then did was stick the long lens on, as I have done now, as you can see here. And I was working that around. And then I just saw this picture that you're looking at now on your screen. And it's this line of, I don't want to say dead's the wrong word, but dormant silver birch and some other types of trees dotted amongst it. And the colours, when I was initially moving around with the long lens, just those colours. Now, this isn't anything cinematic at all. I'm not going to try and claim that in any way, shape or form. It was more just an interesting colour palette. It's like some real silvers out there, or some silvery whites, obviously the dark browns, and then I don't know why the birch do that, but the birch is sort of thin branches or twigs or whatever you want to call them. They go this real sort of off-reddy burgundy colour that looks quite nice. I quite like the colour of it, and that arrangement there of trees and those almost like unsettling colours really attracted me. But now I've taken the picture and looked back, I'm not entirely sure about it. I guess it's a bit abstracting a little bit. It's a little bit different to what I've been taking recently. A lot of what I've been taking recently is a more, well, yeah, cinematic landscape. So there's a lot more going on with paths and shapes and stuff like that. Whereas this is just a bit of a flat shot. But I like it now, kind of, I think. I'm not too sure. I'll be interested when I get back to Lightroom and edit this. I've been editing things in the enhancer for Lightroom, and I'll be interested because it just gives that real filmic. I think it helps. I think it helps with the sort of cinematic filmic look. It's quite a good bit of software, so I'll be intrigued to see what the colours come out like on that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll leave you with this picture. I'm going to mooch on down to the waterfall. I'm going to get to that next. I might try and find one after that, but I'm not too sure yet. But I want to show you guys this waterfall. It's quite cool. Like the forest, in the southeast in general, we don't have a lot of waterfalls. It's not like Wales or Scotland or up north, Northumbria and them sorts of places. We don't have very many about. And the Ashdown Forest has got 3 or 4 that I can think, 4 I think in total off the top of my head. And I'm not too sure if they'll, I know the one I went to the other week, the Sherwood Vashery, I know that's man-made. I don't know if these ones are or not. They certainly act, it would, I'm waffling, sorry, I'll get down and we'll talk about this down there, but yeah, it's a nice waterfall, it's a big waterfall, so I'm going to go and do that, and I'm going to shush me mush, I'll put some B-roll up and this photo, and I'll catch you in a bit. Hello again, how are we doing? I'm hoping you can hear me alright because it's quite loud here, that waterfall. Yeah, I'm down at the waterfall, obviously, as you just seen me walk down there. I say it's such a, well, firstly, I hope I've been able to depict on video just quite how tight a location this is. It's, I mean, for you as a person, there's quite a lot to walk around, but with a camera, quite difficult to get. When you're shooting, essentially what I'm shooting is panoramas. I'm going to do what I did last week, panorama activity, because I'm shooting that, but cinematic frame. To try and get the scope of what you want, it's difficult without it just being lots of bland and then the waterfall. After I've been working around trying to find an interesting sort of composition. It's got a few elements in that help to make it look cinematic. I'd say it's a very, I was thinking that a minute ago, it is a very, it's an intriguing location. I do wonder if this was handmade or not. I don't think it was, looking at it. It doesn't look like it's handmade, but it could well have been. I know bits of these in the forest, some of these were made as essentially like dams in a sense, to help store back water for livestock and that years ago. But I don't think this one is man-made. It looks natural from that. I could be wrong on that, but anywho, back to the photo at hand. So yeah, I've gone for a way as best as I can, I think, to try and make this look interesting and look cinematic. I thought I needed some foreground elements to help create a sense of depth in the image, to make it immersive and to make it more, like, just more interesting to look at, really. As I say, this place, as I said earlier, tends itself, the waterfall especially, to like a vertical crop, so a portrait crop or a square crop. just the way it is itself. But when you step back, this is what I've done, of working around the camera, trying to find some interesting foreground images. You can frame something up, I think, looks quite cinematic. I always go back to it because I struggle to think of any other films that were filmed a lot in the woods, but like The Revenant or something like that. And I've kept out quite wide with lens to help give. So I'm at about 26, I think, just to help make things look a bit more grandiose, give it a bit more grandeur and stuff like that. But and I lost my train of thought then. But what I was saying was just the foreground elements that help to create that depth going through. So I've got this, which is actually a root to a tree, that's covered in this beautiful moss coming up left hand side there, and this bit of bracken growing out and through. And then those two trees there in a sort of middle ground that I really like, acting like a bit of an arch to the waterfall itself. And then I worked myself, so I've got the waterfall up there, you can see, and I worked it around just at the waterfall, sat on the inside edge of that tree. Now it was a nice balance with how I wanted, or what looked good to me with this foreground, and then keeping the waterfall in view, because obviously that's the central focus to the image. I come here to picture that waterfall, so I wanted to make sure that was in. And in Lightroom, I'll try. I think I might go heavy on the vignette in this one, not too heavy, but classy, but quite heavy still, just to give emphasis to that waterfall. So that everything that's there, everything that's positioned in this frame, is drawing you into that and off to that waterfall. And I think that does work, because of the way the hill, the bank's coming down there. And that, of course, is in line with the, or on plane with the root. And that tree there, especially, is giving the arch the other way. It all acts as like a bowl frame, like a curved frame going into that waterfall. But yeah, I think I've done all right there. I think I've caught something, pictured something cinematic of the, whatever this waterfall's called. I can't remember what it's called in the Ashdown Forest. It's a beautiful spot. I'd recommend people come down to it. I'm not going to give the exact location of it, because part of the fun is trying to find the place. But if you park at the car park, which I think is called Friends Car Park, that takes you down to the Airman's Grave, and you're heading, as you're walking down towards the grave, before you start going down the hill, you head right, you'll see a clump of trees, go past those and keep coming down. Your ears, especially this time of year, will take you to it. You won't miss the sound of the waterfall there. But, yeah. So I'm all right with that shot. I don't mind that one. Actually, I'm quite pleased with that. So I shall leave you with that image, guys. I have seen one more up there that's in an even more precarious position than this is, going up the stream that feeds that waterfall. I thought would look quite good. So I'm going to see if I can picture that, and if I can frame that up and get it in such a way where you guys can see it and all that sort of thing. I should set the camera up so you guys can see me properly without me risking all this gear I've got here. I'll get you guys on there, and we'll talk that one through as well. But otherwise, guys, I'll leave you with that. Some image and some B-roll, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Thank you for watching. Can you see me all right? I hope you can see me all right. This is another very precarious position. It's such a very awkward spot to get anything set up. Like you guys on that camera, me on this camera, and then we can actually be able to take pictures and to talk on the camera. But it's a lovely spot all the same. But yeah, I was working around then, trying to find the actual picture I saw back there. I wasn't so enthralled with them then once I started trying to work around with the camera and set something up, frame something up. It just wasn't quite, couldn't get the balance of elements that I wanted. So depicting the area with the waterfall going down and I don't know, just couldn't quite get something I was pleased with. So what I'd done was I walked up, literally, my knees, God. Sorry, I walked upstream a little bit and I've got down low with the camera and I found what I think is quite an interesting picture really, quite a pleasing one to look at. You'll have to ignore the legs on the left hand side there, which is the camera that you're on, because as I say, very awkward here to get things set up. But I've already taken this photo and I think I'm quite pleased with how it came out. It's just lots of interest in the image, and once again it's acting like, because of the natural lay of the land and the banks on either side of the stream, it's creating a quite nice like curved framing to the stream that's going down. And yeah, I like this. It's just a nice image. I was trying to think before I started recording it of the many different ways I could wax lyrical about this one, but I couldn't think of too many things. I like the contrast, I like the balance of colours in there, I like the greens and the oranges that we're getting from the dead leaves, from the bracken, and then obviously the bracken that is alive as well. And that river, or the stream, sorry, just creates for a nice leading line and up through the middle. And because the light's quite low here, I've got I'm going to open the shutter speed up quite a bit. Oh, sorry, my knee. Oh God, I'm getting old. And it created that sort of motion that you get from a long exposure in the water. I'm not usually a fan of that, to be honest. It's not something that I like to do too much of. But in this instance, I didn't have much choice with it. I could have bumped my ice up a bit more, I guess, but I don't know. In fairness, it does add to the image. It's not something I usually do, but in this instance, I've decided to go with it. So, yeah. I haven't run out of things to say, really, which is unlike me. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope my knees don't give way on me in a minute. But yeah, no, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I wish you a good day, or a good morning, a good day, a good evening, a good night. And I'll leave you with this footage, probably a bit of B-roll, me wandering off into well, there's no sunset tonight because it's completely dark and overcast, grey and overcast, but yeah, a bit of that. And I shall catch you next time, guys. Thank you all. My knees are killing me. I can't talk. Goodbye.
Yeah.